Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z.
And I'm Keith.
And we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. Here we go.
Yep. Here we go again. I will say that I wasn't sure if this was going to be a movie that I was like, oh my God, I have seen some of this. Nope, none of it. Never. I've never seen any of it. I've never seen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm completely off
Yeah,
my
same.
radar. But I will say one of my hesitations in watching it was that I didn't. I was a little bit worried that it was going to be, I was like, my perception might be incorrect. But sometimes when like musical people would make movies, they would try to gear them way more towards family.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh God, is this going to be one of those like family movies that's like, you know, for kids and it's just like comical and over the top and just like really, really boring, you know, to watch as an adult 30 years later.
Right.
Nope. It's not that at all.
No.
Yeah.
We were talking. It kind of rides the line, interestingly, about like the themes. You know, like there's plenty of F-bombs, but there's only one person gets drunk.
Yeah, it's really
There's
interesting.
no drugs.
Yeah.
The only people with guns are cops.
Yeah.
So, some good messaging about safe sex.
Oh, yeah. I really appreciated that a lot. It was really...
Some great messaging about sexual assault in jail. Just kidding.
And
They go so hard.
they go so hard on it, and also just they like fag is thrown around so much, and they're like, I'm not a homo, like all that shit. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I think if that jail scene wasn't in there, this would be like one of the great, this was
absolutely.
So good. There was like no reason for that specific thing to be in there.
Nope. They really made a choice.
Oh, yeah. But other than that, like literally other than that, like 5 to 10 minute sequence, this movie's so fucking good. This movie was so good.
It's also the only other musical number. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I just read that apparently it was originally offered to DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince.
Yep.
But because of New Line's, New Line had sued them for Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
seems like they're doing fine now.
Yeah.
I don't know how Jazzy Jeff is doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is he still alive? I feel like maybe he died. Anyway.
Play
Yeah.
is now like super duper Christian guy. And yeah. Maybe as a minister or just like does like motivational talks and you know, yeah.
Is there nothing in MC Hammer?
I'm sure because I looked him up specifically.
Run
Really?
from Run DMC.
I didn't know he was.
Oh yeah.
Oof. Anytime I could tell. I know this sounds but I guessed that just from his IMDb picture I was like, I think he went Christian. I could tell by how he looked. I was like, he went Christian, and I looked, and I was like, there's no way he didn't, and I was
Hey,
right.
but listen, we here at Z&K Pod equally all cultures equally highly.
Equally all cultures equally highly.
We equally cultures.
You value all cultures equally highly.
Whoops.
We equally all equals. Equally equal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is based on the director's a short film he did for his thesis.
Oh shit. I didn't know that. It was so much more fun than I don't want to say than I was expecting. I mean, yes, than I was expecting. It was a lot like the dance sequences. Oh God, I can't remember her name. Not Tisha Campbell, the other one.
Yeah.
Jay something. I don't know. She choreographed their dances.
Oh.
And the
AJ Johnson.
AJ Johnson, yes. AJ Johnson choreographed the dance she did with Tisha Campbell. And Kid and Play basically just did their routine. No music was played at all.
I know
I'm like, they added all the music after. I'm like, that's in fucking sane because it looks. Yeah. I was like thinking. I mean, it probably goes into it a little bit, but I was like thinking while I was like, this is one of the and I've been thinking about it all day. I'm like, that's one of the best movie dance sequences I've ever seen. That seems like an actual real thing that would happen.
What are you doing? This ain't aerobics class.
You can't do it.
Is that a challenge? I think it is. You better come on out here. Come on.
They're flirting.
Right.
They're like, and it's like, yeah, I loved the chemistry between all the characters. I liked the fact that they're all like 17, 18 years old and they're like all flirting and they're like, oh man, there was just so much of it that I was like, this was a good fucking, I mean, okay, other than the jail sequence, we can just, anytime we're talking it up, just remove that scene.
I wish.
Yeah.
You just cut out the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, yeah. And also the fucking beating he gets at the end from his dad.
Yeah. Although the credit, mid-credit scene with the cops.
Yeah, that was good.
Speaking of, since it opens with the roof blown off and it's all smoky inside.
Yeah.
I thought when the bad guys.
Oh, right. That it was going to
that was going to be, especially since they were singing.
Yeah, the roof is on fire.
The roof is on fire. Missed opportunity.
It's fair. That was, I didn't know that bullies or whatever were full force.
Yeah, I just read that.
Yeah.
Who were.
Mm-hmm. Which I didn't
another group, right?
Correct.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Does that include Bow-Legged Lou?
I don't know if it does.
Kick his fucking ass.
That's all he fucking kick his fucking ass. The whole thing was shot at Play's house.
His actual house.
His actual house that he
That's amazing.
I know. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
This is like really an impressive movie. Like truly impressive. Yeah, his house in LA, everything was shot at his house in LA. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just like kudos.
Yeah, that's
man.
a thing I was
did
curious
so
about.
many.
I was like, this kind of feels like California. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, for sure.
If it was supposed to be or not, but I mean, it's never stated.
Yeah. I liked, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wasn't.
The force does include Bow-Legged Lou.
It does. Oh my god, that's.
Members, be fine. Ryan George.
Bow-legged Lou.
Hugh Junior Clark, a.k.a. Shy Shy.
Shy.
Paul Anthony. Mm-hmm. Bow-legged Lou. Kurt T.T. Baby G.
They
were producers and writers.
Nice.
So I don't know if they ever recorded themselves.
Gotcha. There's a lot of humor in this too that I enjoyed. Like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I was really impressed with this. I was like watching this and I was like, is this going to be my fucking, I mean, other than Jump Jack Flash, of course, but I was like, is this going to be my fucking favorite out of all of these? Like, anyway.
Yeah, you're not going to like Malcolm X. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wholesome. And I was going to, before I interrupted myself with the roof stuff, I feel like the star, I mean, the thing that holds it together and is the most interesting to me is the relationship between, I'm trying to remember their name, the two women.
Tisha Campbell and AJ Johnson.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember their character names.
Oh, I have no idea. Because Tisha Campbell to me. She was in, here's why I, like, when I saw Tisha Campbell, I was like, Tisha Campbell!
Shireen and Sydney.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, Sydney. And he was like, that's a name. That's a nice name.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, fuck. Tisha Campbell was in Rags to Riches, the TV show that I was obsessed with as a child.
Okay.
And just like, yeah, I was super obsessed with it. And there was a character on there named Patty who I like possibly was, I have a lot of firsts, but possibly was my first girl crush as a child. I was very obsessed with Patty to the point that I refused at one point I would only go by the name Patty.
What?
Yes, I changed my name to Patty. My parents had to buy me.
She was also Gina. I didn't.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Yeah.
As in, damn Gina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really love her. I have such a soft spot in my heart for her because she was like.
She's really charming in this movie.
She's charming. Like, I love her so much in this. Like, she's adorable in this. But I don't know. Like, I just have, like, such a, like, she's someone that, like, she's really good with comedy. She's just, like, a super talented person that I feel like never, I mean, like, she has gotten, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like she should be way bigger than she actually is. And she, obviously, Rags to Riches, I was obsessed with it. No, I'm pretty sure my parents had to get me a stuffed animal to name Patty so that I would stop going by Patty because I then had a stuffed animal named Patty because I refused. I was like, my name is Patty now. You must call me Patty. I will be Patty. I was obsessed. Okay. Tisha Campbell was not Patty on that show though, just to be clear. I don't think the person who played Patty went on to do anything else, but yeah. Which I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, she's one of my girls. She's one of my OGs.
Wow.
And she can sing, like she's really good. She's, because Rags to Riches, I think was musical.
Oh no.
I'm
totally unaware of that show.
Yeah.
Somehow.
It was like a movie that then became a TV show. And it's basically like
Is it the same cast?
Most of the same cast. And yeah, I was really obsessed with that. And it's just like a rich guy adopts a bunch of young girls.
Oh boy.
It's like not
Making some connections.
No, I mean
real time.
They're all like none of them are actually related, but they have like a close bond because they're all so it's like all of us.
Because he abducted them all together at the same time.
No, they're in a home or whatever, and he ends up like adopting them all together because they're like I don't know, whatever. And then
So it's like Different Strokes meets
Annie.
8 is Enough.
Okay.
Annie, yeah, that's good too.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I really liked the scene where they were going to have sex and he like didn't want to have sex if there wasn't something like protection. And
Specifically birth control.
yeah, yes. And he was like, man, you know, like if I was any other guy, I would be all for it. I wouldn't care. And she was like, yeah, and that's why I'm into you.
Right.
Because you actually give a shit. And his friends give him a hard time. And I like that there's not like necessarily a resolution to that like sort of argument, because I think that would have made it less genuine. But his friends are like, he's like, I'm not going to take the chance that I get a girl pregnant. Because they're
he's
like,
oh,
I'm
did
not
you
trying
to have babies?
Yeah, they're like, did you get it? Did you get some or whatever? And he's like, no. And they were like, oh, she was on her period.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, no. And they're like, okay, she was good to go, and you just didn't. They're like, this isn't adding up. And he was like, we didn't have protection. And his friends are like, that's not your problem. That's her problem. Like, you know. And he's like, no, I don't want to have, you know, I don't want to get her pregnant. And they're like, yeah, that's. You just leave, like you don't. And he was like, oh my God, like absolutely not. And I really loved, because what I liked about that is that he didn't change his mind, but it did show that like when you're young,
right, there
is that sort of like mentality of especially I think, you know, back then in the 1990s, you know, like there's always been sort of a, and I don't think it's like, I don't know about other countries, but in the U.S., like, I don't think it's specific to, like, the Black community or anything like that. I think it's, like, as a whole in America, like, teen pregnancy was an issue, you know, and it was something that's always been considered, like, the girl's problem, the girl's weight to bear. Like, and so I appreciated that they showed how there is peer pressure, you know, when you're younger, to like just not worry about it, you know, like it's not, you're not like, you being the dad means that you don't have any responsibility. And the fact that he's like, that's okay. You know, I don't know, like that whole sequence, I appreciated that being in there. Yeah. And like the cops, man, how awful the cops were was so fucking. The part where they're like, repeat after me, say I am something. I'm like,
you perpetrators were very lucky tonight. Apparently these people aren't going to press charges. So you're going to get up, go home, and go to bed. But before you do, I want you to repeat after me. What? I am... What? I am...
Come on, with feeling.
I am... Somebody. Somebody.
Oh, really?
This is ridiculous.
Oh my God. It's
confusing.
Okay, what I assume that is that like, and because it was so...
At gunpoint.
Yes, exactly. Because they're saying like these kids are like, you know, pressing charges isn't going to help the kids. Like it's not going to do anything, you know. And then he's like they were too intimidated to press charges. You know, they're spinning this narrative on them that they're these like really horrible, awful, you know, kids, you know, and like they're like, say I am something. It's that thing of like, you are the problem here. You are the problem. But you're projecting that like the reason why they're getting into trouble is because of the fact that they don't believe in themselves and they don't have anyone, you know. But like that's not what's going on, you know. And that part was really, and everybody at the party being like, "What the fuck?"
these poor kids. You put a record player in front of them. Sit them down, Jack. It's my Joe Biden.
Oh,
he said that thing about poor people, and he meant black people, and he said put a record player in front of them to help them learn to read or something.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
I love how people are like, My favorite thing is when people are like, Trump sucks, and people are like, oh yeah, well, Biden sucks, and they're like, yeah, I know, and they're like, no, it's your, but they're like, no, I don't. Yeah, he sucks. Like, it's not. It doesn't go both ways.
What's wild to me is I still see people being like, oh, how can you not love Kamala Harris?
I know.
Like, easy. She was a cop. She was a prosecutor. She put a lot of people in jail.
Hey, she also notoriously like put trans women in men's prisons.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's cool. She's great.
Super cool.
Yeah, we love her, you know. So it's shit like that where, yeah. You know, it's yeah. I'm always going to be a fan of criticizing politicians. I think that if you hold, there is no reason at all.
Fucking president and vice president, give me a fucking break.
Seriously. And there's no reason, like, people will do the thing, white people will do the thing where it'll be like, oh, you know, like, you can't talk shit because then that's going to give, like, Republicans, whatever. And I'm like, fuck off. No, like, that's what Republicans do.
We're way past that.
Republicans refuse to criticize anything that their, like, politicians do.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like,
that's how they stay. Exactly.
It's like, you have to criticize to set them apart. Like, you need to hold them accountable. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, they're not, like, superhuman. Like, they're gonna fuck up. They're gonna do wrong. And you have to, like, if they're not willing to hold themselves accountable for the shit that they've done wrong, I don't want them in office.
Right.
So most of the time, I don't want politicians that are in office to be there. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, because I guess, like, documents, like, Biden lost some documents or whatever. And, like, everyone's like, oh, yeah, Trump's not the only one. And
double standard.
Yeah. And people are like, okay, but he's fully cooperating.
Yeah. It's
like, they were notified.
It's
also,
always,
he's in office. They were notified immediately when they realized they'd lost track. It's a very insignificant amount.
And they turned him over.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And they gave, yeah. And it's like.
But yeah, it's constant. Like, that's.
Mm-hmm.
It never.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a smokescreen to do the,
right.
Oh, see, it's the same.
Exactly.
And, yeah. Fuck journalists and media outlets that traffic in that.
Yeah, seriously. House party. I was actually kind of, like, I was really, honestly, like, you know, like, because they're musicians or whatever, or, you know, I was like, okay, you know, maybe this will be good. We'll see. But as soon as I swear to God, as soon as it said written and directed by, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I don't know why. I was like, oh.
Written and directed by?
Yeah, like, just the fact that it was written and directed by the same person.
Oh, I see.
I was like, oh, I think this is going to be good, because that means that it wasn't like a studio of people writing a fucking, you know, totally. It's written and directed by one person who, and it turned out like we weren't even like we were like a third of the way through, and I was like, I was right. I was fucking right. This movie is really fucking good. And it does so many specific things that I fucking love. Like the scene where they go to, oh God, I don't remember her name. Sydney's friend, AJ Johnson, like her character. Shireen. When they go to her place and her whole family's there, so like, it's so specific, but she goes outside and she's like painting her nails or whatever. And like her sister or like cousin, I don't know, someone gets up and they're like, no, I'm just getting up. Like, I'm going to sit back down. And she's like, no, like, too bad, you know?
Oh, that's
and she sits down. It's so like, that's so accurate, like sitting and hanging out outside, like all these things. I'm like, yes, like I did all this shit, you know? And like, the Kool-Aid, when they're like, make more Kool-Aid, and the kid's just like dumping so much sugar in it. Oh my God.
Yeah, the movie does that. It really hits that balance that is so hard to get to make of there being actual plot and, developments and things that move a story forward versus just comedic scenes that somebody
Correct.
wanted to put in.
Right.
Like,
And I can't remember their names because I'm terrible with names, but the dad,
yeah.
kid's dad, the guy that plays kid's dad, and the the neighbor,
Yeah.
they improvised most
Their
of their
shit, yeah.
dialogue. Oh my God. Not surprising at all.
No, not really. Robin Harris plays Pop.
Robin Harris, yes, R.I.P.
Yeah.
I was like, I know this guy is improvising because he just goes on a fucking tear every
I
time
know.
he sees
Yeah.
a new kid. He just starts
When
just completely ripping their appearance apart.
when he's at the party.
Why don't you just go home? Little test tube, baby. What's your name?
Clinton.
Clinton what?
Clinton, X.
Clinton X, huh?
Yeah, Clinton X. I'm a Muslim.
Well, go home and bring me back 2 bean pies and a pork chop sandwich. Little trout mouth.
God, he's just, oh man.
He's hilarious.
It was, yeah, there was, oh man, it was really good. Like, this was,
And the neighbor's pretty funny.
oh my God.
John
yeah.
Witherspoon.
Oh, yes.
And
I knew he was funny because I've seen him I knew him from the Friday movies, and he's fucking ridiculous in those.
yeah, I'm trying to look up whoever played his wife. They also play
Yeah.
a couple in Boomerang,
Yeah.
which is a movie I keep bringing up.
Okay, I don't know it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not.
Not as good as House Party.
Oh yeah. All I remember is it's Eddie Murphy and I think Robin Givens.
Oh, okay.
And Eartha Kitt is in it.
Oh shit. Oh.
And basically, it's just, if I remember right, I watched it when it was, I watched it in the 90s at some point.
Yeah.
It's just one of those where he's like a womanizer, and then he starts to catch feelings, and the script is flipped upon him.
Oh, yes. That's okay. I think I looked one of those up. One of those. I think that was one of the ones I saw when I was looking up like 90s movies for this month's theme.
Okay, we're going to take a break real quick. Be right back. The director, Reginald Hudlin, also directed the Koi Pond episode of The Office.
No shit. Oh my God. Wow.
He's mostly done TV, it looks like, for the
Oh,
last
okay. Interesting.
little while. I looked up one of the cops from this movie.
He's been in a lot of things.
Yeah, nothing that I've seen, but so one of his credits was that he was on Logmire playing a Judge Drood. No relation.
Yeah.
What, has it been like 10 minutes?
Well, I don't know because I stopped.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I stopped recording.
You fucked up so
I fucked
bad.
up so bad. We were at least 30 minutes in before.
All right.
See, this is the thing. When it's something we like,
Yeah, it's hard to.
we're like, yeah, it was good. That's all we have.
I know,
When
yeah.
it's something we absolutely could not,
Yeah.
like, barely got through.
3
it's
hours.
so hard. No, it's hard to be like, oh man, I don't know what to say about it because I didn't even enjoy watching it. I don't want to talk about it. But then when it's on that cusp of like either we hated it so much that all we can do is talk shit on it, or we liked it, but there's so many things about it that were like, that are like critiquable,
Yeah.
like, oh, this was a good movie. However, here's
Yeah,
a list of
right.
things that I think are problematic in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if it was just like, oh yeah, that was an enjoyable experience, it's like,
Yeah, I'm also going to have less in the way of critique, I think, this month because I'm not going to feel.
samesies. yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, that's why the movies that I wanted to pick, I didn't want just to be like, let's get into the weeds of like black cinema because I think that would just be nobody needs us to do
talking
that.
about that. Yeah.
Nobody needs that from us. But yeah, and I really wanted there to be some fun films in there, and like I feel like this is a similar. I think we're doing a similar thing that we did to
Native.
Yeah, the Native, because we had some humorous ones in there.
Similar to the thing we did with Native.
Similar to transgender. Like when I called that place and I said I was like, oh, I was recommended this doctor for a specific reason, and the lady said for transgender, and I was like, you know what? Yes,
close enough.
For transgender. Yep. But she was so nice about it. She wasn't saying it like, she was like, she's like, for transgender, and I was like, sure, yeah, for that. She's like, I was like, okay, you're really nice and you're being non-judgmental whatsoever. You're so friendly about it. You understand. You're just saying it wrong. And yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I love the TikToks where the guy is like the inclusive grandma that just keeps with the glasses that are off, and he's like, "That's my granddaughter," and they're like, "I'm not a girl." Well, leave they alone, and it's just like, no, it's not. You don't have to.
Right.
I support the LBGI element, whatever. I don't know. Like, so trying so hard is so exhausting. Yeah. It's like if you're trying,
right, and
you fuck up, I don't care.
Right.
If you act like it's too much for you to even worry about, that's when it's like,
that's when
just
you
fuck
get a
off.
kick in the nuts.
LGB, I don't know what it is. There's so many letters. You said two of them.
The Alphabet Squad.
Oh God, the Alphabet Mafia. If you ever refer to me as as someone that's a member of the Alphabet Mafia, I will kill you. I don't want to be called
Mafia
that.
style.
Yes, I will put.
Yeah, I love them.
Bricks
mafias.
over your feet.
I love the mafias.
I hate it so much. I will strap bricks to your feet and throw you in a lake,
Mafia style.
Yeah.
You'll be buried under whatever football field Jimmy
You'll
Hoffa is
sleep with the fishes, you see?
Get a case of lead poisoning.
Yeah. No, thank you. Don't call me that. Ugh. I don't know. I kind of hate cutesy names for things that
I think
are
that's meant to be slanderous, isn't it?
No.
Oh.
No, it is not. Yeah. Like when people are like, ladies and gentle them and like, oh my, and try to, fuck off. Just say, everyone. Like there are words that were invented for this reason a long time ago.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about it. Like, no big deal. Also, stop putting asterisks on shit. Asterisk is not inclusive. Like trans asterisks.
I've not encountered this.
It is a thing that people did as a way to, like, be more like women asterisks or whatever, like trans asterisks. It ends up being a thing where it's like you're actually excluding people. Like, say women, and then you put an asterisk to mean that you mean trans women too, and it's like that's not being inclusive, and that's literally just being like, not women, women. It's like winking or something. It doesn't. It's not inclusive, because you're actually excluding people when you do. Like the word is already all encompassing. You don't need to add bullshit to it. To
also,
make it
if you want to exclude men,
just say that
or whomever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just say that.
Yeah, and yeah, whatever. That'll be a whole thing. But anyway, what I was saying is this is similar. I feel like we did a similar thing. I kind of tried to do a similar thing this time that we ended up doing for Native November, where like
alternate heavy and
light. There were like fun movies and then some like heavier ones, and we ended that month on a movie that was based on like true events.
Turns out we didn't know that.
We didn't know that, no. But we also didn't think that was going to be like as serious as it was. I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be a gas. I thought it was going to be hilarious and laughable. And it was actually one of the Thunderheart.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like.
Oh, not intentionally funny.
No. I didn't think it was going to be a comedy. I thought we were going to laugh at how bad it was. And it ended up being a lot better and like had a lot of native cast in it and was like way different than I expected. Obviously not the pinnacle of, representation or anything like that. But it did and it gave us an opportunity. I mean, all the films did, but it gave us an opportunity to like touch on Wounded Knee and all that stuff. And it really, it was really interesting, and it sort of like told the story of like leading up to the events of Wounded Knee. Obviously it didn't mention Wounded Knee at all, which whatever. Anyway, so we're ending this one with Malcolm X. So I feel like
you're welcome.
We're doing. Well, I've never seen it, and I have always wanted to see it, and I have, I do like with with Native November. Mm-hmm. What we did was we ended up, as we learned things, as we added links to our link tree. And I assume we'll do similar things this time, like where we learned stuff and, so yeah, I think, I'm interested in, I'm really excited to see Set It Off though. That's what I'm really excited for. Sorry. I know I'm just talking about all the things we're going to watch this month. I am excited for that one because that's one that I've wanted to see for a really long time. And
I was unaware of it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm actually really surprised that I've never seen House Party, like at all, like not at like, and not even like on TV or anything. Like I'm very, very surprised, and it's really good. It's really good, and I can't believe that this one never.
Even am I right in? You've never seen any Cheech and Chong films, huh?
That is correct. Some of that
shocking.
Some of that's a little intentional. Those have played on TV, and I'm like, that's okay.
Which is bizarre and ridiculous. I
don't actually want to do that. I've seen it's wild to me that I've seen like the Friday movies, but I haven't seen. I hadn't seen these.
I mean, I feel like these were kind of forgotten.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It really,
I mean, I've said in the lobby and elsewhere that I think there's a sequel to this one.
Yeah, you're like I think there might be a sequel.
There's like four fucking
5,
sequels.
I think, because I was reading about it and they said the dream sequence happens in the first, it starts with a dream sequence and that happens in the first 3.
This has a dream sequence in the beginning? I don't remember.
When the roof flies off.
Was that a dream sequence?
Yeah, because he wakes up.
He does?
Yes. There's a party and there's smoke and dancing and the roof flies off and then he wakes up. Okay. And so that's a dream sequence. That would be a dream sequence. So,
weird.
It says that happens they carry that theme in 2 and 3.
Okay.
So the dream sequence happens in first house party, second house party, and third house party. And they're like, in 4 and 5, it doesn't. And I'm like, 4 and 5? Yeah. I was like, Jesus. I didn't know that I saw that there was 2 and 3 last night. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I saw that there was 4 and then one that isn't numbered that was made in 2013. It's like House Party,
Yeah. House Party. Let's get the party started.
Not another teen house party musical.
I'm not as excited to watch the sequels to this because even though they do have kid play in them, I'm not as excited to watch them because I don't know that they would, hold up. Oh my God. But the guy that played his dad, Robin Harris. I almost said Richard Harris. Nope.
Different guy.
Yep. He died 9 days after the movie came out.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that horrible?
I saw he died the same year it came out.
Yeah.
He was only 36.
36. Good Lord. Oh my God. That's so terrible. I mean, I'm always a little bit it's so sad when someone dies like right after a movie comes out, that they were in. But I'm also like, I'm so glad that they got to see it come out and like see that thing. I mean, it wasn't his first, but that's what I mean. Like if they die afterwards, like they die, they know that their movie came out and they know how it's doing and they know whether it's doing good or not, and they know if people enjoy it, So like hearing like, I'm glad he at least got to see it come out because he did another movie that he died, I think, before it actually, like he made another movie. This was like the last movie he filmed, but I think, or maybe, I don't remember. Anyway, the second House Party movie, is dedicated to him.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's sad to say.
No, it didn't. I don't think it did.
Oh, he's in Mo Better Blues.
That's what it is. I almost said that.
That's Butterbean Jones.
I've never seen Mo Better Blues.
I have. I barely remember anything about it. He's also in Do the Right Thing.
Let's Do the Right Thing.
Spike Lee. It's like his.
Oh. Okay.
And I'm gonna get you, sucker, which I've also seen and want to rewatch. That's the Wayans brothers.
Oh shit. Man, the Wayans. So like, that was some 90s. They were so a part of the 90s.
No, late 80s.
Well, yeah, for sure.
I mean, you cannot really overestimate the influence of
seriously
fucking Living Color.
Yeah. I forgot that was them.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't that where
David Allen Greer?
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Fucking love David Allen.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Oh my god, Jim Carrey.
And they had the Fly Girls.
Yeah. Which, yeah. God. I wasn't really allowed to watch In Living Color when I was younger.
Makes sense.
And it was one of those where I was like, oh, I really wanted to watch it, but I was not allowed because I was way too young.
I wonder how it ages.
I imagine not well.
So do I.
I feel like a lot of like sketch comedy
for sure
does not age well. Like,
I mean,
some of it does, but like overall, like every sketch does not.
Especially any series that has a run, like is on TV for multiple seasons. There's just no way.
Yeah. Oh God, the part where he
Except Kids and All.
I really liked Martin Lawrence in this. I think.
Yeah, man.
He was fucking. I know he was so funny, and like
and restrained.
Yes.
I mean,
and like
I don't know if that's the right word. I mean, you're used to seeing him being a lot bigger and
right,
more obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it is. Like usually. You expect him. I mean, he was supposed to be like obnoxious, but he was also supposed to be like
not any more than any of the other characters. Really,
that's fair.
Everybody's got their.
Oh yeah. But they kept being like they kept calling him Dragon Breath.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh my god. But like when the guy kept bumping the table, God, it was the way it.
I don't. Why was that
it was
so
fucking funny? I know. I was like, I don't know what it was, but it was so fucking funny.
So what's up?
Yo, chill. Don't bump the table. I appreciate it.
Yo, play something I can dance to and I won't.
Yo, chill. Don't bump the table. I'm trying to mix.
Yo, you call that mixing, man? I just helped you out.
Thank you.
And it was like I think part of it is because he was getting like so fucking mad and that guy was just kept bumping the table and acting like he wasn't doing it and he wasn't bothered by it and it was so fucking funny. And he was just like God. And I really loved how much like I don't know, I really liked how much of it was like took place like at the house as a party. Like they're not like I was worried that it was going to be, the whole thing was going to be kid trying to get to the party.
Same, yeah.
I was like, please don't be this. And because, like, yeah, I get it. You know, you're trying to get to the party. But, like, he gets there and, like, you know, hijinks ensues, whatever, like, throughout the whole film. That's fine. But, like, he still, like, he gets the girl. He, you know, he gets home, you know, early enough or whatever. Like, I mean, not early. Yeah. But I mean, like, he's not right. Like trying to stay out late. You know, he's like, I said I was going to come home, so I'm coming home. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. Like, it wasn't, yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
If I were Play, though, I'd be like, how come kid gets the main storyline?
That was the thing that was really surprising to me, is how, like, their stories weren't totally intertwined.
Yeah, right. And they're were definitely not portrayed as a duo.
Correct. Yeah. Almost as rivals. Right. But, like, not quite, which definitely was super interesting.
In relation to their emceeing skills.
Yeah. I didn't know this. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I didn't know this. I'm sure I know this, but, like, I had forgotten that they were background dancers for Salt and Peppa.
Oh,
mm-hmm. That's why their dance routine. That's why it was so, like, good, because they had mastered it while they were background dancers for Salt and Peppa.
Right on.
I was like, oh fuck. I am so sure. Like, I read that and I was like, I feel like I don't know this, but at the same time, I'm like, duh.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, this is something I had to have known and just completely forgot about.
I remembered that their moves were a big part of their presentation or whatever at the time. And so watching this, I'm like, oh, maybe they were just a dance crew.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a thing at the time.
Yeah.
For, who'd you say?
Salt and Peppa.
Salt and Peppa. Nice.
Right. And Salt and Peppa were great.
Yeah.
Too. They did a lot of good shit in the 90s. I mean, like, musically, not, and, like, you know, they had, like, I think they had, like, songs about, like, sex and, like, safe sex and shit like that, and they were, like, you know, that's shit that should be out there, you know, and that kids should be listening to.
Well, and you can never push it as an undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
Timeless banger.
For sure, yeah. Smell shit. Yeah, it's what?
I wasn't sure what you were doing.
It's so good. Yeah, their shit is, like, stuff that, like, it was so 90s that, like, when the 90s, in that brief period of time when the 90s stopped being cool, I was like, Salt and Peppa, and then, like, eventually I was like, what? They're so good. What the fuck? Yeah. No, the 90s were great. The 90s had great music.
Not too long ago, I started following JJ Fad on Instagram.
Who's that?
They were a hip-hop.
Oh. Okay.
Ladies hip-hop group.
Oh, ladies. I thought you were merging late 80s to say, I thought you were saying
ladies. Yeah.
And I was like,
no, the Cars That Go Boom and Supersonic.
Okay.
No, sorry. Cars Go Boom is Latrim. Good Lord.
I don't know that one.
Shit.
What's Supersonic? I know that one.
Supersonic. It's the one that has the breakdown when she goes, hey. That's really what it sounds like.
You'll be surprised that didn't clue me in as to what the song was. You should get an earring. I think if you had an earring, it would look interesting.
Would it help me sell my hip hop?
No, it would just make you look a little gayer.
Great, I need help with that.
I know having a boyfriend isn't quite enough for you.
Right. I'm not gay, but my boyfriend is.
I'm not gay, but that... I was going to say a slur, and then I was like, maybe not. You can bleep it out. Bleep it out. I'm not gay, but the transsexual gash I live with is...
Which part am I supposed to bleep?
All it. Would you recommend?
For sure.
Yeah, same.
So fun.
It is so fun. Be aware of the prison rape, horrible rap. And I think this is what makes it horrible, is that it tries to make it funny.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's okay. We don't need that to be funny. Like, I kept thinking of Malignant. You know, when she's like in prison or whatever.
Yeah,
and then she beats up every fucking
person of color
that
especially
she comes into contact
black
with.
Woman who's like a disco bunny or whatever.
Yeah.
With the natural and the bell bottoms.
Oh yeah, she was hot.
Oh yeah.
And then just gets like ripped
to
shreds.
She looks like a character out of
it's Lana.
Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it's also the flashbacks of Lana. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Oh, Grand Theft Auto. I was gonna say that, but then I was like, oh wait, it looks like Lana. Anyway.
Well, Archer and Grand Theft Auto do share some aesthetics.
That's fair.
I don't like to admit that, but
yeah, no, that's fair.
I really enjoyed George Clinton's cameo in this, where he plays the DJ.
Oh
DJ
God,
at the gala.
I love that whole sequence.
Yeah. You want a little pot in your head? Lighten up. Yeah, I did it. I cried 2 tears in a bucket. Fuck it. Let's take it to the stage.
That was so good.
That's so funny. And I love how everybody. Well, I feel like the second half kind of drags a little bit, but you do get with the most of the funniest parts to me are in the first half.
Okay,
but in the second half you get more character development with
true.
Sydney and Shireen, Kid.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed their Sydney and Shireen in the second half of the movie.
Yeah,
like, how they deal with negotiating both being in the Kid or not.
Yeah,
and
I know. And when she's like, I gotta tell you something, then she's just whispering in my ear. I loved that whole scene because she's acting like she's like all right now. She's like good for you, girl, or whatever. Yeah. She's like, good for you. I thought that was so, because she's trying to pretend like she's offended, and then she's like bullshit, and she's just like, good for you, girl. And I was like, that's so sweet.
Yeah, who is it that's giving Kid the talking to about is it Martin Lawrence's character? I don't remember. I was like, you got to go with Sydney because Shireen
it's Play.
Is a project.
But I like that he says it's not for any reason other than he's like, your privacy. Dad's never gonna let you be alone with her, and she's never gonna have a place to take you by herself where half your
got money for a hotel room?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay,
it's practical.
Yeah, right.
Sydney's family is pretty well off, so
yeah.
He's like, you go down to the rec room. Yeah, I love. Also, I love that it's multi-generational, and you see some older black folks.
Yep.
And they're doing well.
Yeah. There's not
not everybody's in poverty.
Right. Not everybody's in poverty, but that's also it shows you the different it shows you different classes without making it some sad sob story.
Yeah.
They're all and they're all hanging out, and there's not any sort of drama about their class status or anything like that,
There's no beefing.
Oh, I also would recommend. I think it's so much fun.
I want to see. There's a couple times that I want to see if there's anything in the trivia about the Dick Gregory. Because remember I brought it up during the movie.
Yes, there is.
In the trivia?
It just says they mention that it was a specific diet at the time, and it gets mentioned multiple times in that.
It is a reference to his diet.
Yeah.
He's which was
the Bahamian diet is what it says.
Breatharian.
That's
where it comes from. Which was okay, here we go. A reference to the Dick Gregory diet. Oh, no, you're right. The slim Bahamian diet is made twice. Kids Pops mentions it once for his weight problem. The second time is when Shireen's uncle asks her for younger brother and makes him Dick Gregory.
Mm-hmm. You were saying it. You were like Dick Gregory, and I was like, I don't know. So this was something you were already familiar with?
Well, I know who Dick Gregory is somewhat. And I knew that he had a book that was a diet.
Okay. I had no reference to that. So I was like, how do you eat? How did you? I couldn't understand what they were saying because I was like, I don't.
He was a comedian and an activist.
Oh.
Super funny and super.
Yeah.
Just, like no shit.
Gotcha.
About racism and white supremacy and.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a diet that I think is now considered that it was satirical because it was like vegan, and then it's like where breatharianism came from. But it was like the joke was pretty soon the diet's going to be no food at all.
Wow.
And just your breath. And,
wow. Okay. That's right. That's what breatharianism. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. You're the one that introduced me to that.
I think that's true.
But it's difficult to find usage of the term breatharianism prior to 1972. In a book titled Dick Gregory's Natural Diet for Folks Who Eat, civil and animal rights activist Dick Gregory wrote about a continuum of food consciousness, with showing no food restraint whatsoever on one end, restrictive diets such as vegetarianism somewhere in the middle, and breatharianism, eating nothing at all, at the other end. The breatharian movement is not often attributed to Dick Gregory, due to his likely satirical use of the word.
Anyway, check out Dick Gregory. He's very smart, very funny. He's passed, but
okay.
He's definitely someone to know about if you're interested in.
You could say black comedy.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, you would know this about me.
You could also say black history.
Yeah, sure. Black people history. There's no history without his story. The views presented by...
The ingredients for coming correct. We select on the set beats and rhymes that are both in check. Her beats behind the board code getting respect. We are Kid and Play in total effect.
We're getting funky up to par, and that's with a hyped up beat. Just laying on the guitar,
you'll feel the bass.
It's soft and wet,
yes honey,
you'll get a taste.
But not just yet,
right money?
The beat is live, troops, so don't front on it.
Get it while the getting's good and just jump on it.
Minute by minute,
yo, hour by hour.
Kid and Play got soul power, we getting funky.
My name is Patty now. You must call me Patty. I will be Patty.